Hey guys, happy 2021 to all of you. It's episode 27 of the ISA portfolio series. If you want to celebrate the new year by getting a free share, sign up to Trading212 with the link in the description or in the pinned comment. And we both get a free share if you deposit £1. So portfolio this week, up about £2,500–3,000, I think. I've put £250 in, so the rest of that is a little bit of a gain. Part of that has come from these two funds, mostly the Merian gold and silver, because silver does seem to be outperforming gold a little bit at the moment. So I think between the two of these up about £1,500. Still both my sort of defensive positions, still quite bearish on the economy. I think with the vaccines being here, they're sort of everyone's pricing in complete recovery. I think they're going to take, best case scenario, a while, maybe sort of 3 to 6 months to roll out and give to everyone, and small businesses and things are just getting crushed in the meantime. So we will have probably a bit of safe haven demand for gold and silver, and also probably more stimulus and money printing. So the inflation sort of currency devaluation side will be good for gold and silver as well. You've only got to take a look at the dollar index chart sort of over the year to see what's been happening. So be interesting to see. And over to the Trading212 ISA, about £1,000 gain on this week, so it's quite good from basically two things, which I will come back to. Downturn on the ARC this week, had to come eventually, I suppose. It's showing a lot more. It's showing negative now, but it's not really negative, because as I said last week, I took some profit on it and sort of put some of the tech investments from it elsewhere and made it basically just a medical pie. But some of these are sort of down this week. Biggest one was Arcturus. I sort of sure it was down quite a bit last week, and that sort of dropped about 40%, 50%, I think, this week. So a lot of the others sort of seen a reasonable decline, but they're only small positions at the moment, so it's probably for the best if I'm going to add to them. So I sold out of a little bit. I have added about £70 to the pie this week, just to sort of help average down some of these positions. And so not too bothered about seeing that in the red. It's probably for the best. So sold out of Alphabet and put that into Alibaba as well. I mentioned last week I sold out of Amazon and put that into Alibaba. So we've got my Alibaba position down to 241 now, which I think is quite good. Seem still sort of fairly bullish on these longer term. As I say, I don't really see that much bad news coming out from the Chinese investigations and that sort of thing. I think this is going to sort of largely blow over. They'll get hit, they'll have to change their business practices a little. They might get a fine, and looks like there's some stuff going on with the Ant Financial, which is sort of less than a fifth, about a sixth of their business. But they've taken a sort of massive run downwards. So I think oversold. So nearly in profit on that. Bid stack was I sold a little bit of Greatland Gold after being sort of on a reasonable profit on that. So I paid about £400 for this, for 1,500 shares. Went up to about £550. So I just sold back down to my original £400. But yeah, pretty happy with that. And put the profit a little bit into Bidstack, just a little penny stock, but they're sort of the online gaming advertising company, a tiny company, but they've got deals with Ubisoft and some of the big publishers, so just thought I'd stick a little bit in there. Bitcoin ETP is interesting development. I didn't think this was going to happen, but it has. They're classing it as a derivative, so it's going to be in close-only mode. A lot of people saying this is sort of devastating. It is only sort of the UK seeing this as a derivative, so it's on the German exchange. There's still going to be a lot of people wanting to buy it. They've just saw this week the company Hanef, who runs this, they've recently got to £1 billion, I think it was, in assets under management. So people all over Europe buying this, and should be able to. This should sort of track Bitcoin still fairly closely over the next few months. And but I am wondering, just with the liquidity of no UK, whether it'll be that easy to sell. So wondering whether to just maybe sell half of this and finally invest in some of the REITs that I've been talking about, because I've said a few times that I wouldn't put REITs in the invest account for tax reasons. So yeah, may start actually putting some money in them from this. Never really wanted to have sort of thousands and thousands of Bitcoin in the ISA. I've obviously already got my big sort of Bitcoin position at the moment. So yeah, have a think over the next week. BT, a little bit down this week, but nothing too big. Sentiment, basically flat for the week. Went up a little, but come back down. So yeah, Digital Realty is probably one of those that I would add to if I sell some of the Bitcoin. Only a small position at the moment. ArcPi ones there. First Majestic Silver, nice little gain for the week, 5%. As I say, silver seems to be outperforming gold at the moment. On the month, sort of nice increase. I think this is partly sort of to do with increased demand, really, over gold. You know, gold isn't seeing all the safe haven demand that you might expect, but silver has the industrial demand as well, sort of used in solar panels and sort of all sorts of industrial uses, which would be good in a buoyant economy. So yeah, seems to be doing sort of better than the gold shares, really. As I say, Greatland Gold sort of a little bit flat for the week, but looking good since I bought it. I will continue sort of probably selling this down as it goes up in value, because it is just an exploration company, and I don't quite want such sort of speculative gold position in the portfolio. Prefer gold to be just defensive, but it's been good over the last month or so carry on letting it run. Immersion was a little bit of the Greatland Gold sell-off. Just put a little bit into another little penny stock that came up on the Briscoe forum. They sort of make they're into haptic feedback, the sort of rumble features in the controllers. I think they've got a deal with the PS5 controller, but could potentially have other licensing deals there, other applications. So again, very small company, but involved in sort of a big market. So just thought I'd stick 40 quid in that, and the rest of the Greatland Gold money, as I say, went into the ArcPi. So it's about 150 quid overall sold in those two penny stocks and the ArcPi. Legal and General's basically done nothing. Same with Nintendo, up a little, couple of percent. Polymetal is flat, although it went up during the week. Primary health properties, probably maybe another little one that I'd put some into if I sell off the part of the Bitcoin. I'd probably put a little bit more into realty income as well. It's just sort of steady Eddie. Quite nice to get the monthly dividend as well, even though I'm not that bothered about monthly dividends. I think people put a little bit too much emphasis on monthly. I mean, you've only got to divide a quarterly dividend by 3. So Rio Tinto had a nice little run up, but back down for the week, but still looking pretty good. Not high valuation. I think it's sort of still high single digits price to earnings ratios, or 8 to 10, keeps bumbling around in that range. Roku, still not sure whether keep this down at 7% in the last week now. Sort of very, very high valuation, but just thought I'd keep it for now. Supply at Me Capital, the little penny stock, didn't had a little run up. There were sort of bets on it going to 1p, but no, it didn't. But hold on to this for a little bit. Sylvania Platinum, at long last, has seen a little run up. So 10% in the last week. As I say, I mean, you can look at the platinum chart, the rhodium chart, and the palladium chart, all three sort of looking bullish. Rhodium, I think $17,000 now. Platinum at sort of 5 year, basically the highest it's been for 5 years. So I think the market may be sort of starting to price a little bit of this in now. And as I say, looking forward to the next report, I think at the end of the month. And potentially the special dividend. So bullish on that, 6,000 quid now. Taylor Wimpey, basically flat for the week, down a tiny bit. Tesla, I'm really starting to think about selling this now, $700. It's in the S&P 500, so it'll start to sort of get more scrutiny now. Ridiculous price to earnings, even, forward price to earnings. Even if you look at sort of 2022, 23, still overvalued. So I'm up 76%. Wondering whether to just cash this out now. And again, put that into REITs and that sort of thing. Like Tritax maybe. Up 2% on the week. Not too bad. And Eurobox basically flat. Does seem to have been struggling recently, Eurobox. I expect more lockdowns in Europe. Virgin Galactic, another rough week. Just hold on to this and just see if they do another test launch and see what happens then. I will look to get out of that. And Volkswagen done absolutely nothing for the week. But still bullish on them. Just looking at the invest account then. So basically all the money in the ISA came from Bitcoin and Sylvania Platinum, and a little bit from First Majestic Silver. So I added £250 to this week. A few new positions mainly. So 3M's basically done nothing. A lot of my dividend stocks really haven't sort of done a great deal recently. Still got a little bit more Alibaba in here, although I haven't sort of averaged down too much, so it's 264 in here, but still hopeful on that. ADM 2%, not really too much. Broadcom again 1.5%, not sort of too much of a move for the week. Caterpillar, 1%. Like I say, most of these are sort of fairly slow movers at the moment. Diageo did seem to have a sort of crazy pump up to over £3 and has then come back. I didn't see the news on this one. Only, as I say, only a fairly small position at the moment. And then a couple of new positions I've been looking at recently. eBay, interesting. They sort of obviously they've got a huge marketplace, sort of 150 million users, regular users, and tiny sort of market cap, but still make a lot of money. Not at the sort of crazy valuations of the other tech stocks, but probably because they're not growing all that much. But yeah, they have solid sort of profit, solid cash flows. They use it to sort of pay a small but increasing dividend and buy back a lot of shares. So we'll see that as a defensive position. And FedEx, surprisingly, they've sort of had a little rough week. So I thought I would take a position in them, looking at their sort of forward projected earnings, look pretty good, fairly sort of undervalued compared to a lot of the other dividend stocks that I was looking at. So as I say, mainly thinking of your sort of McDonald's, your Procter and Gamble's, Coke and Pepsi, all that sort of thing just seem, for a dividend stock, not particularly growing companies, they just seem high. So that was the main reason for getting into things like Caterpillar recently and Intel and sort of some of the others. Just seem cheaper valuations for basically similar sort of growing companies and dividend stocks. So Intel had a pump up this week. Investor, sort of big investor, has wrote them a letter and making some demands. Not very happy with that, but not sure if that was part of the reason for the pump. He's basically telling them to outsource their manufacturing, which wouldn't see as necessarily the best thing, but I do sort of partly hold this for the people not really pricing in their other sides of the business. So Mobileye, self-driving tech and all that sort of thing. I think people just focus on the CPUs. Johnson & Johnson, nice little 3% for the week. This doesn't move all that much. Kia Group, down 5%. Obviously still waiting on everyone getting back to normal, and they're still paying down debt and everything. It's a slow mover. Could take 3 to 6 months or something for that to move. Kroger was another one added this week. US supermarket, basically. Again, sort of fairly well priced, sort of good value. Should be a steady one if there is a bit of a downturn in the US especially. And again, though, profitable company, buy back their own shares, pay a little dividend, but rising, sort of reasonable dividend. So maybe this will be my sort of food and drink type thing instead of McDonald's for the moment. Bought a little bit more Lockheed Martin. I just keep increasing this again. Sort of defence. They're not going anywhere. They got 50 years of contracts of building things with US government. So again, forward earnings seems cheap. Keep adding to it. If I sell any more Bitcoin from the big Bitcoin position, there'll be more going into Lockheed certainly. Neo had a little bit of a run. Again, similar to Tesla, really. I mean, I'm even less attached to Neo as I am to that one Tesla share. We'll probably just get rid of this shortly. It's 13% up. Don't really want it all that much. Porsche, again, same as Volkswagen, hasn't really done much in the week. Raytheon, similar to Lockheed Martin, maybe not quite as bullish on this as Lockheed Martin, but would carry on adding to it. And Shell, a little bit of a downturn in the week. I think it's probably just more bad news from lockdowns and so on, the new variant of the virus, seeing more restrictions. TSMC, I do want to put more in this, but it's still going up. Seems quite expensive, really, but they're not a growth stock as such. There's more an industrial that just seems to have a lot of business at the moment from Apple and Nvidia and everyone, but it's not permanent. I am bullish on them. I will carry on putting money in, I expect. It's not horrendous valuation. Again, sort of based on forward earnings, not much different to your Procter & Gamble's and your McDonald's and that sort of thing. But yeah, bullish on them, but cautious to keep investing. Taylor Wimpey I've shown in the ISA. Tyson Foods did add another share of. Basically flat, did take a dip during the week, but defensive food company. And Western Digital, 10% up in the last week. I think, as I say, it's just people shrugging off this year's low sales. So that is the invest account. Not particularly much of a change. The sort of difference from last week's total portfolio value is just me adding 250 quid basically. So that is the portfolio for the week. As I say, more money hopefully coming in to this over the next couple of months with possibly some sales of more Bitcoin, and still looking for potentially a couple more companies to replace the others in my pie that I don't particularly want to invest in at the moment, because they just seem expensive. But got a few on the watch list, and I may do a video on that shortly. But leave your thoughts in the comments below, and drop a like, as always appreciated, and subscribe if you want to see more. See you soon.